Anything that stood out, by the way, that he did to help keep the customers engaged?
Joking, laughing all the time.
Okay. What else? Yep, having them use it. Did he ask them any questions?
Yeah.
Just kind of keeping them involved by using it, asking questions, things like that. I'm going to walk you through, before we dive into the manual, I'm going to walk you guys through what you guys just saw was 70% of your presentation, okay?
Which would be, real quick, he's a friend of Sam.
Oh, awesome.
Met him today.
Yeah.
He's going to be set up for tomorrow, okay?
Awesome.
So anyways, you'll get a chance to work with Mr. Morris.
I'll see you tomorrow. Perfect.
Alright,
So back to, we're gonna dive into the presentation, we'll go through that, but I was saying you just saw most of it. What you were missing, by the way, was the price comparison, like what everything costs, and then showing the accessories and recommendations. That's what you're missing. But you saw the chunk of the demo. So there's 7 steps. If you guys ever take any sales course, if you take any sales or marketing course, you're gonna hear 7 steps to a sale. There's 7 steps in any sale if you want to maximize it. And our program follows it perfectly. All right? And this, you don't have to write it down, you can if you want, it doesn't matter. But the first step in any sale is to build rapport. What does that mean? Yeah, connect with them. That's what I say. All right, so step 1, connect. How do we do that? How do we do that in our presentation? Compliment them. Yep. So by the way, the two easiest ways to connect with someone: ask questions and compliment. So when you want to, how's everything? How's work? How's this? Oh my God, where'd you guys get that? Oh, I love this. Right? And then it gets them over. So connecting with them, asking questions, and complimenting. So right when you get to the house, which you guys didn't see because you didn't do that part, it's just how's work, Bendy? How's this? How's that? And just chit-chatting with them, catching them how the heck you're doing, how's school going, and if it's your aunt's friend from work, you're like, oh yeah, so how long do you know my aunt? Didn't even tell me, she just said you were awesome. And you're like, oh, I've known you for like 7 years, and you're just connecting with them. And then you're like, oh, I don't know what my aunt told you, but I'm going to FIU, and I'm studying this, and you're just sharing things with them, got it? Another thing, which is what he dove into, is you're also going to want to connect them to your goals and what you're up to. So you'll talk about the Fast Start contest you guys have. You guys can win some awesome cut on your first 10 days. You can win this awesome VIP night. We go out to a phenomenal dinner with my boss. Good person to know. And it looks phenomenal on your resume. There's a $1,000 travel voucher you guys can win. Just cool things to, again, motivate you when you're first getting started to work hard and reward you for your hard work. So share that with your customers. Hey, I'm working really hard to get to this. I've been working hard all week. Letting them know that. There's a scholarship, actually, that I can win. And pulling this out and showing it to them and saying, hey, I have a chance to compete for a scholarship. Showing them the winners, showing them these are professors, guys, from Boston College, University of Texas, University of Calgary, just different schools where they could show them that actually teach the class of their respective schools. So showing them like, yeah, this is using the universities, I can earn college credit, I can earn scholarships, compete for scholarships. They give 100 scholarships every year. You guys can show Sarah Law. Some of them will have Adriano, and you'll have different people in the scholarship brochures that we have, but show them that, all right? I would, especially for you, Nicholas, since you went to school with Mario, I'd have him circled and be like, I graduated with him. Be like, my goal is to beat him and win a scholarship for FIU too. And letting your customers know that, so tying them into that. My friend had told me, he's like, yeah, take a picture of yourself on number 1. And I did that, so I'd always be like talking to my customers, and then I'm like, oh yeah, that's me. They just laugh because like a random takes picture. I'm like, not yet, but like my goal is to get there. Sarah Law did that on a friend of hers. She took a picture of herself here, crossed out the name, put Sarah Law Fellig, and she'd always tell her customers, like, oh, this is a scholarship brochure, this is me, and they just laugh. She's like, not yet, but like, I'm gonna get there, thank you for taking time for me. But it ties them into that, so they know like it's something that you're excited about, especially for those of you who are students. This is for undergrad and grad school. So you show them that. Oh, Mary Lou, can you and Dylan, I actually want to introduce you guys real quick, and then I want to make sure everyone's ready to rock for tonight. No
yes.
Real quick, Mary Lou Chang. She is recently promoted social media coordinator for Florida Caribbean. She's been working with me for 2 years. Started back when she had just graduated from Lourdes in 2011. Hit her first promotion in her first couple of days, third day?
After advanced training.
So, just like Mario. So, on Monday night. Hit her first promotion, hit her second promotion later that week, so she had doubled her starting pay. In her first week, could only work part-time, so she left on a mission trip to Dominican. She started later in the summer, like toward the end of the summer. And she was going right into her freshman year at FIU. She got accepted into our management training program here locally and was training and earned a spot as an assistant manager last year and actually became our recruiting manager, helping oversee the receptionist and helping oversee the recruiting process. The program that she led ended up being #1 in the entire company and led us to break the all-time company record in that program and overall in sales for the year. She has been a key component to last year and really the spring that we're having right now with everything she does behind the scenes. She's like the jack of all trades. She can do everything. She's amazing. So she runs interviews, she works with a receptionist, she does social media, she helps with training. She'll be running your training on Friday. And she knows the business. She's learned the business inside out, playing like every single role in here, which has been really exciting. And I love about her, she's such a hard worker. She's such a big heart and just gives so much. Super selfless. I was telling her that yesterday, but I've always told her, like, she's got such a big heart. She's always willing to give, and sometimes gives too much and doesn't take care of herself because she's like stretches herself thin. But she's just amazing. So you guys will get to work with her, get tips from her. You'll talk to her on PDI, and she'll be a head assistant. You know, here this summer she'll be playing 2 roles with the division, and also here as advertising and recruiting manager. But she'll be helping with development aspect and sales and everything. You guys will see that. So anyway, what you enjoy most about working with Cutco, and then biggest keys that you'd give these guys to help them off for a fast start.
Okay, what I like the most is, well, I always say the 2 biggest things I like the most. First one is the opportunity to create your own opportunity here. You know, there's so many different ways you can go with sales, with management. There's so many different positions, so many things you can explore. And I like the fact I've been able to do a weird route and learn just everything. It's been awesome. And the second thing I love the most is obviously the people. Working with Cathy has been awesome. All the managers here are great. Everybody you're going to be working with before they leave to run their offices, Mario, Sarah Law, Taylor Max when he comes back, Angie when she gets out of school. Everybody here is just awesome and has played a huge role in my development here. So I would definitely consider that people you should start talking to a lot if you ever want to get into any kind of management position or advance here. But I love the people and I like the opportunity. My biggest tip for you to get off to a fast start or to maximize on your first days here. First thing I would do is if you have anything that's flexible, in your first 10 days on the job, anything that's movable, anything that you can save for later, I would move it just because you want to maximize, you want to spend as much time as possible hitting your first few promotions. That way later on you can work a lot less and make a lot more money. That's really your goal when you first start. To hit your promotions fast enough so you can work less and make a lot more later. So clear anything you have going on and communicate with us as much as you possibly can. Communication is what gets you from one level to the next. I wasn't here all the time when I was right after the summer. I wasn't here that much at all, but because I communicated a lot with Cathy and our division manager, I was able to put myself in a position to get an assistant manager spot in the summer. And that transferred over to sales, it transferred over to anything here if you want to be successful. Communication. So clear week and communication.
And anything with PI for their first weekend, or anything to help them like when they're on their actual demos?
When you're on your actual appointment, literally just read the manual. Read the manual and smile. All of you were selected because you obviously have something to bring to the table. So for those reasons, bring them into your demo. Be smiley. Just read the manual. That's all you have to do. Read it, call us, smile. All the directions are in there. It even tells you when to cut the penny, when to flip the page. So you really don't have to think at all. You just read, cut, and ask them for the order. That's it.
Have you ever had someone tell you they weren't going to get anything?
Oh yeah, but my uncle, he has a ton of Cutco, and he was actually Paz's customer, and when I first started, I was like, yeah, but I mean, you don't get anything, I'm literally just doing it for the training. I went there, he was my 4th or 5th sale ever, and he ended up buying over $500 anyway. So people who have Cutco buy a lot of Cutco, and even though he said he was going to buy nothing, he ended up buying $500 more than what he already had. He had like $3 grand worth of Cutco in his house.
Yeah, when you see people, you'll see people that have Cutco, like they love this stuff. They're like some of the easiest sales because they're already like, all right, what do you have that's new? Like when somebody's like, oh no, I have everything, and they see and we're like, oh, you have this new, oh, you have a can opener, oh, you have steak knives now, oh, you have this, and they already know the product's awesome and they've had it for a long time. But anyway, you guys kick butt and tell John to come in here a little bit later to me. Introduce them. So we were talking about step 1, right? We were talking about connecting with the customers, making sure that we ask questions, we compliment, and tie them to what you're up to. Show them the scholarship, show them the fast start, show them the sponsorship, all that ties them into what you're doing, and making sure they know why the heck you're doing this, which we'll talk about, all right? Once you've connected, in any sale, the second step to any sale is to establish credibility, All right. Now, how do we do that in our business? What does established credibility mean, by the way?
Make them show them that you have some like that.
Credibility, by the way, what's the root word? Credible. All right. So making sure they know it's legit. That's the second step. Is they need to know that it's legit, a legit company, a legit product. So. Right. So what do we do when we're with a customer to make sure they know the company's legit? Well, we go through what? What did he talk about? His demo.
Travel history, how long Cutco's been around,
How long they've been
where
around.
they
Different things they've won, things they've been featured in. You guys are going to see today from the History Channel, or actually tomorrow from the History Channel, the Modern Marvels. You'll see today from the Travel Channel, the Made in America. You guys go on Cutco.com. You can check out other things we've been featured in, just all the different awards we've won. So just sharing with them the accolades of the company. And once you've gone, how much we sell per year, how many customers, and then you're like, oh, let me show you a product that demonstrates the quality of Cutco. And what do we do right away? Yeah. And right there, they're like, holy crap, this stuff is good. So you just now they know, okay, it's legit. So they heard the company history. So for us, how we establish credibility is through company history and cutting the pen. So that way they know it's a good product. You guys good? All right. The third step to any sale, if you want to have a great sales, you have to create a problem. All right. Well, how do we create a problem in our demo?
you have them to get their knives.
All right. Well, even before that, before we even got this, we just talk about common problems with common knives. What did Dylan talk about here? Yeah, sets with wood and how disgusting they are, sets with plastic and how they are carbon, steel, just like the different craftsmanship, the steels, and just, again, common problems with common knives. If you don't have a problem, you don't need a solution. Everyone got that? So there needs to be a problem in order for there to be a solution needed. All right, I'll introduce you a little bit. Let me finish this one. You finish your food. So once you go through here and create a problem, now what's the next thing we need to do? Boom. Yeah. So step 4 in any sale is, the building value for the solution. Basically, letting them know why your solution is so good. That's the second step in any sale. So for us, now is where we show them Cutco. This is where they see the one you guys cut the rope with for the first time. And we tell them there's 5 features that make Cutco the best. Let me tell you why they cost what they do. And so you're going through each feature. Give me one minute, okay? Can I have someone send me All right. So when you guys go through here, so you go through each feature, features and benefits, and then once you're done going through features and benefits, then you go into the guarantee. All right. And guys, the biggest reason Cutco costs what it does is because of the guarantee. Someone's gonna have these forever, and you'll bump into people. Does anyone in here already know someone who has Cutco? Who do you know that has Cutco? How long?
I told him about it, and then he's like, "Oh, it's great. I have it." I told him, "Oh, it's really expensive. We probably don't have it." And then he was like, "Yeah, I have it. Is it Cutco?" And he said, "Yeah."
How long have they had it?
I didn't ask him, but
Yeah.
he had it.
And you guys will bump into people who've had it for a long time. And again, anytime you bump into people, I like having them write down how long they've had it, what they think about it, and if they would recommend it. And that's so cool to show your other appointments. Some of our guys have taken videos, and they'll show videos. Mandy used to show videos on his iPad of customers that had it, and they're like, "This stuff is the best I have," and they're just talking into the camera. But it's especially cool when you see their friends, but even for anyone to watch. So going through the guarantee. So that's us showing the solution. It's not just, here's your solution, but here's why the solution is so good, all right? Once you offer a solution, step 5 in any sale is creating a specific need. In our demo, we're creating a specific need for the family sets. The one you saw Dylan shows our basic family set. That's this right here, all right? Our basic family set has been around since 1949. That's the set my husband's grandmother's had since 1957. Covers all your basic needs in the kitchen. It's 7 knives, 2 forks, and a spatula. You have your air knife for anything in the air, small utility for limes, lemons, just anything small slicing like fist size, oranges, grapefruits, we'll go through all that. You have your spatula, which is great for sandwiches, desserts, things in dishes. I use it for hummus, cream cheese. I use it for bagels. I use it for brownies, cut it, scoop it, serve it. Then you have your everyday carving and prep knife that you cut the rope with. That's a medium-sized, fruits and veggies. You got a turning fork for turning on the stove and serving at the table. Heavy duty for when you have freezer stuff. Mom buys chicken wings, put them in the freezer, take it out, separate what you need. So it's a tougher knife. This is your chopper for all your dicing and chopping, omelets, soups, stews. I use it for when I chop up celery and onions for my tuna. I use that. You got your bread knife and you've got your master carving set. Do you guys see that? So this will cover all your basic needs. Now, if you have a family that does a decent amount of cooking, I recommend at least our medium set, all right? Our medium set, which is the one back here, has the ones I just showed you, but it also has the scissors. Do people like the scissors? Oh yeah. It has a cheese knife. Our cheese knife is ridiculous. It actually has holes in it on the cheese knife, so it doesn't, that's my spatula spreader. It has holes, so it doesn't stick to the block. Who here's ever cut cheese before and it like sticks to the block of cheese? So the holes in it so it doesn't stick, and you get nice thin slices in it. So it brings a cheese knife. It brings a small chopping knife we were using back there for mincing, and it brings a tougher knife. I use this a lot for root vegetables. I use this a lot when like if I'm making ceviche, I'll put like 4 fish fillets and I'll just cut through it, turn it, cut through it, and we're ready to go. So it's like, you know those guys at the gym that are on steroids? Like, that's like this knife, all right? You can get a lot done with tougher jobs in the kitchen. So this is a really nice set for someone who does a decent amount of cooking. And then our complete set, which you see here in the front, has all of our basic tools, and it has all of our specialty knives. And those who come on Friday morning to the High Flyer Workshop, I'll show you how to sell the larger sets. All right, so this set right here has the ones that Dylan went through, and it has these tools here. All right, so it brings all our basic and all of our specialty. Who uses that set? That set would be for someone who loves to cook. Okay, loves to entertain, or loves to have the best of everything. Maybe they don't cook at all, but they're like a little upper income and they just like to have nice things. Does anyone know someone like that and they just like to have nice things? So that's what you'd show that. So I'll talk about that more. In your basic training, we're going to focus on the basic set, because again, any family is going to use the heck out of that thing, you know? And then those who come on Friday morning, we'll go over how to show them all together. So most of our top guys, like Mario, when he does a demo, he'll show all 3 at the same time. He'll say, hey, we have 3 family sets, Cutco sets for life. We have our basic set, we have our medium set, and then our complete set, which has all of our basic and tools. And they'll show them together. So first step for you guys is just learning the basic tools. So we'll go through that. Once you've done that, step 6 in any sale is to compare prices, all right, which we didn't go over. You guys can go to Williams-Sonoma, check out comparisons. We're going to dive into that first thing tomorrow morning. And step 7 in any sale is asking the customer, do you want to go ahead and do that today? All right, and actually asking them, asking for the order. So those are your 7 steps. We're going to walk through it, and the reason I wanted to walk through it is because when you guys are reading your manual, when we're practicing, I want you to read right from it, and I want you to understand your objective, right? You're not just reading words like wood handles do this, plastic handles do this, but well, what's my objective when I go through that? Well, my objective is to make sure they understand there's a problem with these knives. You with me? So it's like common problems with common knives. And I know that when I'm telling them about the handle of Cutco and this and that my objective is to make sure they understand why Cutco is so good and why it costs what it does. So we're going to dive in. If you guys can turn to your manuals. Most days already put this in the front. You've got your name. Office number is 3829. Okay, this is going to go on all your order forms. So you become very familiar with that number. That is Miami. So 3829, you have your rep number. You're going to get that Saturday. When you guys do your stuff in the system, it'll automatically give you guys a rep number. Training coordinators are actually myself and Mary Lou for your training. And then Mario and Sarah will be helping coach you guys through your first week in your fast start. They're going to be there to support you throughout the week, all right? The number you're always going to call, the office number is 305-591-9393. You've got customer service, you've got field service. Vector Connect is for anybody, for you guys to utilize. You can put your orders, that's where you put your orders online. There's so many like financial files, audio files, written files on every single part of the business and out of the business, like with communication, leadership, time management, lots of cool things and resources to help you guys personally and also in Cutco. Then you have Cutco.com, which helps you learn your tools more, so you can see we make pots and pans, like just other things that we have in our line. And again, we'll go through in basic here, but you can learn more about it. And guys, it's up to you. Like the more you put into like learning your stuff, and I'll coach you guys on Friday, like do your first week things to do each day. You're gonna get an email every day in your first 10 days from the company with like focuses for that day and things to do to really maximize your first week on the job. And these are things that if you take advantage of those, will help you perform at a higher level, all right? You don't get paid more necessarily because you studied for an hour, but you do get paid more because now you're more knowledgeable, right? Do athletes, like if they work out extra, or Tiger Woods goes and takes more shots on his own, does he get paid more? Someone paying him for taking it? No, but he knows he does get paid on how his performance is. So he puts time into being great at his trade in order to perform at the level he needs to, you know? So keep that in mind. You've got Facebook, which we've got a lot of great things for you guys from our office page. to our group, which we're going to have like a divisional group where you can ask questions and things that you need. And then there's the regional and the national. So our Facebook page, if you guys want to put, there's Vector Miami Dade. So it would be facebook.com/Vector Miami Dade, and that'll lead you to our page. There's Skills for Life and there's YouTube. The last thing says, remember to Rolo your orders. All right, Rolo stands for Rep Online Order System. So some of our representatives have like their iPads with them, and they'll put them online when they're at a customer's house. Some of them will do it when they get home at night. Some of them do it at the end of the week. I would get your orders online as soon as you get them. That way your customers are getting their orders right away, you know. At latest, all orders will be turned in on Sunday here, and they need to all have been put online. And if your internet's off or something's wrong, you can always use our computers. Good? The next page, you guys can read on your own, is more introductory. It talks about a lot of the stuff that I was talking about earlier, which is, you know, having fun, confidence and expectations. It's not necessarily like your ability, but the products sell themselves. You know, it's about having fun with customers, connecting with people, and having confidence. So 3 main keys, 3 big keys when you're starting off. It says right there. What's what? What are the 3 big keys? 1, 2, 3. What does it say?
Follow the menu, but a lot of food.
Pretty simple, right? But they really go a long way. And we've already talked about that with following the manual and not being your recipe for success. You heard Justin talk about cutting food, and it really does. Like when the customers are utilizing it on the appointments, it goes a long way. You know, like on the videos, those who when you're doing it virtually, they see them cutting it on food, not just like holding it or just doing the rope or leather, because people don't eat rope and leather, right? So it shows them like different food demonstrations as well. And you know, when your customers get all their stuff, then they'll use it, you know, on their products, and they'll be super impressed. And having a lot of fun. Your customers feed off of you. If you're like, yeah, they're like, okay, they feed off of you. So making sure you're having a good time, they feed off your enthusiasm, your excitement, all right? That's really important. When you walk in, it says the first thing there, Lauren, what does it say? Best place for your demos is where? In the kitchen. Right. I usually ask when I walk in, hey, where can we sit down, chop stuff up, and make a mess? I always ask that when I walk in. So you walk in, and they're like, oh, come over here, let's sit over here. And you're, again, complimenting, asking questions, chit-chatting with them. It says best to show husband and wife together if possible. You will see some wives alone. Sometimes like stay-at-home moms, homemakers. Never see a husband alone. It's a complete waste of time. He's going to love it. And he's going to go, oh, we got to check with my wife and see what she likes. You know, it's like, it's a product that goes in the house. We'll talk about that tomorrow. But most women end up finalizing like the color of the rug or this or that. You know, like and the guys finalize a lot of the outdoor stuff that ends up in the house. So you want them there together as much as possible. You want to keep them both involved. So if, you know, the person who cooks more naturally is involved. So if the husband's the big cook, he's going to be wanting to use everything. So I want to make sure the wife stays involved, and I have her do all the cutting demos. You know, if the wife cooks more, I want to make sure I keep the husband involved. So I have him cut the rope, I have him cut the leg, just to be involved with the presentation, so you can really see the value of the products. Then in terms of pennies, you can cut any pennies, by the way. Ladies, I would stick to the ones after 83, all of you. Because the ones before 83, they're full copper, they're harder to cut. After 83, they're zinc with a copper coating. So they're easier. You can cut them all, just the newer ones after 83 are definitely easier to cut, all right? Then you guys cut the rope leather. You have them cut you hold the rope leather so they can cut it. You guys cut the penny. And it's okay, you know, to bring your own food. I used to bring carrots and tomatoes with me, just in case they didn't have done groceries or anything. They could use the peeler, they could use the chopper, they could, you know, check out the knife from the tomato, which tomorrow you're going to see on tomatoes. Ridiculous. Have you guys cut a tomato with a dull knife before? You're like poking it, going around it, or like it squishes it. Ours like glides right through there. It's amazing. So we need to bring good tomatoes for the salsa, but if you want to bring a crappy tomato, just so you guys can see how it goes, it's pretty awesome. You can also use grapes. Grapes have a similar consistency, that when they're good, like a tomato, they're harder, and then they get mushy. So it's a similar consistency, and you can check it out with that, all right? Then, Dylan, come here, let me introduce you. Then people who have Cutco, which Mary Lou was just talking about with people that have Cutco. Being very new, you still want to do the whole presentation. Here's how the presentation changes. Ready, Diane? You're like, hey, as you already know, they're made in New York. And as you know, and everything's like, as you already know. Because you still want to practice and do the whole thing. And then once you close, you'll go to page 14 because it shows you things to recommend to people that have Cutco already. Like a lot of the most popular things that people add to talk about, you know, flatware, the steak knives, pots and pans, things like that. All right? But people who have Cutco, they love buying Cutco for gifts. And like I said many times, they don't even think they need anything, and then they see all the new stuff and they get really excited about it. Have